My name is Elisabet. I'm originally from Finland, but I live in London. I work at Queen Elizabeth Hospital as anaesthetic and recovery nurse. I was quite active, lots of sports and hobbies. Normal diet, fit and healthy, no problems. I just noticed enlarged lymph node. When I saw my hematologist at Guy's Hospital, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma. My chemotherapy started December, and then we proceeded to stem cell transplant, and after that I also had radiotherapy. I met with Dietitian, and they explained me how my eating would possibly change, an appetite, and what difficulty I might have, and what foods were safe for me, and what to do, trying to keep my eating habits as good as possible.
My name is Jennifer Pickard. I'm a specialist dietitian and I work at the Royal Marsden Hospital. If you are having no problems with eating and drinking and your weight's been stable, then we would advise you to follow a healthy, balanced diet as what is recommended for the rest of the population. A healthy diet is just to make sure that you're getting all the nourishment that your body needs. What we recommend is basing your diet on something called the Eat Well plate. It's split into different food groups, and each food group represents the size of the food or the proportion of the food in the diet. The two largest groups are what we call your fruits and your vegetables. We should be aiming for about 5 portions of these a day. What we would encourage is to go for the rainbow rule, so get as many different colours of different fruits and vegetables as possible, just so you're getting the breadth of nutrients available. We encourage fresh, frozen, canned, all sorts of fruits and vegetables. The next largest group is what we call your starchy carbohydrates. This is the group which gives us our slow releasing energy. We should be basing our meals on this food group. Then we have 2 smaller food groups. You have your meats, your fish, your beans, and your alternatives. This is a food group which just gives us our protein source. And then we have another smaller group which is your milk, your dairy foods. So examples of this would be your milk, yogurt, cheese. This group is important in the diet as it gives us the nutrients of protein, vitamins and minerals such as calcium. And then the smallest section is your fats and sugars. It should represent the smallest part of the diet. Things which would include in this would be chocolate, biscuits, sugary cakes, and we normally recommend sort of 1 to 2 portions a day. Nutrition is very important because at the end of the day it's our fuel, and we need the fuel to give our bodies the energy it needs to sustain treatment. I
had to follow the neutropenic diet from the beginning of my treatment. I became neutropenic straight after the first set of chemo.
If you become neutropenic, you are at higher risk of infection. And what the neutropenic diet just means that we're just trying to reduce your risk of infection from food.
I had to be careful not to eat anything with bacteria or anything that could make me ill, because my body was unable to fight infections so well as it normally would. There are, for example, some type of cheese, like blue Stilton, which I like very much, wasn't able to eat, and there was raw or uncooked meat. One of my favorites, smoked salmon, I couldn't eat.
Actually, undercooked meat, shellfish, things like pate are all foods that we would advise you to avoid. If you are having trouble with your diet, make sure you let someone know. There is help out there, and it's important to make sure that you're getting all the nourishment you need to help get through your cancer treatment. There are lots of side effects associated with treatment which can make eating quite difficult. During this time, the key principles of the Eat Well plate may or need to be adjusted to incorporate more higher energy food or higher calorie foods. Examples would be increasing or having a higher fat content during this time, so using things like butters olive oils, fortifying your food with grated cheese, just to sort of really enrich what you're managing to get those extra calories in.
I did lose a little bit weight when I was in hospital.
If you are struggling with eating in the hospital, it's important to let your nurse know or let the team know so you can be referred to the dietitian.
After the high-dose chemo, it was very difficult for me to eat. I got sore throat and the swallowing was difficult.
If you have a sore throat, which is a common side effect of many lymphoma treatments, we would recommend going for a soft diet. Things like adding extra sauces to meals, such as extra gravy or cheese sauces or parsley sauces to fish. We would encourage things like soft snacks, things like ice creams, custards, milky puddings. If you find that you are still really struggling or it's really painful to swallow, then it's working with your medical team to get the right pain medication and making sure you're taking that at suitable times.
I prefer not to have the feeding tube put in, so I was actually ready to tolerate a little bit of discomfort eating, and I choose, of course, soups and other food that were easier to swallow. And obviously my appetite wasn't as good as it normally would have been.
If you have got a poor appetite, what we'd encourage is going for more of a little but often approach to eating. So instead of 3 set meals, going for about 5 to 6 smaller snacks during the day. Making sure food is readily available, things which you can pick at, graze at during the day, and don't be tempted, or carers, don't be tempted to add extra portion or extra helpings onto someone's plate, as this can be off-putting. If you find that you are still struggling with eating and your weight continues to fall, then you may be able to get some nutritional supplements from your GP. These come in all different shapes and sizes, milkshakes, juice-based drinks.
I was given the high-calorie drinks when I wasn't feeling very. When I was feeling I don't want to eat that much. If you have a poor appetite, then it's better to eat small amounts and often.
If you feel too full too quickly, what we would advise again is going for a little and often approach to eating, or just focusing on snacks and making sure the store cupboard is full of suitable high calorie, high protein things like milky puddings, custards.
Things I didn't like before. I like certain type of tea. Peppermint tea was my almost pet hate before, and now afterwards I like it very much. That's weird, but I did lose my taste for a while. Common
taste change is foods tasting bland. If that's the case, then we would advise using additional herbs, spices in cooking, going for more flavoursome foods, such as curries.
It was difficult to motivate to prepare meals because you knew you wouldn't be tasting anything. So sometimes I ate just cereals for dinner.
Can't face cooking. What I would say is ask for help from family, from friends regarding or helping with meal preparation. Or if you don't fancy cooking, using things like ready meals, which are quick and easy to use and you can keep in the freezer.
Just a couple of months after the treatment, I was back to kind of normal with my taste and appetite. I said it's very well balanced diet. I like fruits and vegetables anyway, so I do eat my 5 a day. I try to eat enough protein, it's quite important. I do like shopping for food and cooking.
Of course you'll be able to enjoy food again and get back to your normal eating patterns.
Always have some Finnish chocolate, particularly in my cupboards.